Hey DFS players, it's your boy here, man, and once again, welcome to DFS Zone, your source for daily fantasy sports lineups for the NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball. And before I continue, guys, I would appreciate a like on the video. It would definitely help me out. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you turn on your notifications so this way you will not miss any of my new uploads. And with that being said, today is March 15th, 2018, and well, recap. I always like to do my recap and share that with you guys. As you can see on my screen here, on the screen, I got a 414.40, guys, and you're saying, wow, man, this guy doesn't seem too happy. You know what? I am not. I'm a little devastated to know that I got 414.40. It got me fourth place here in this tournament. The first place player got a 418.20, so I was short by 4 points. With 5 points, I would have taken it and gotten the $400. But this was for the 25 cents tourney, and this is a tournament that I play once in a blue moon, depending on the slate. And I think the last time I played 25 cent, the 25 cent entry was back maybe about 2 weeks back, 2.5 weeks back. I don't play them that often, but when I do, I play them because I think the slate is pretty good. And the last time I played, I didn't cash, but the previous time before that, I did, and it was pretty much close to what I did last night. I think that last time before that, I finished like 9th or 10th, and I did finish in some other areas within the I normally play $1 or $1.50. This particular night yesterday, I played 5 entries, $1.25, and it netted me $104 with this fourth place finish. That netted me $100, and then I have I can show you there real quickly. My entries were my entries here were 100, 414, 380, 363, 363, 342. So I mean, I preach all the time, guys. You know, anytime you're gonna listen to my videos, I'm gonna always say, if you're able to put in 300 points or higher, you're gonna always have a shot to win. You're gonna always either get your money back, double your money, or possibly come off like me, where I just invested only $1.25 and I was able to make $104 and change. But it is disappointing to know that I did not. And I'm gonna say this again. My disappointment with this is that I did not realize, I thought I did not set up a lineup for the 100K for the main event. I mean, I have to tell myself, come on, bro, really? I really did mess up bad last night by not, because I thought I did, but I didn't, and I don't know why or how that happened. But I know that I was all over the place yesterday. I was doing my videos, I was doing my research, deciding on which slates to play on, and so on and so forth. And I know I had to do a couple of errands. And hey, you know what? Excuses don't excuse. I say to myself, I tell it to my kids all the time, I tell it to anybody. We all, gotta, make sure that we stay focused. And I didn't stay focused enough. And to know if anybody played the 100K last night, and you can just share with me in the comment down below and share with me what was the actual score for the individual that won. And I'll be definitely very upset if this 414.40 would have netted me a top 4 or 5 in that event. It would have been, it definitely is going to hurt. But you know what? This is why we have to stay focused, and this is why, you should double check, before the night is over. But like I said, I was running around, and even by 7 o'clock, I was still on the road. And even though I had my phone and I had all my alerts on, just in case I had to make any changes, which I didn't have to, thank goodness. I come home, and I'm not even realizing I'm watching the Boston-Washington game and flip-flopping on League Pass, all the other games, any other game that I was able to take a look at, and I can't believe that I didn't realize I was not in a 100K. Tournament. So that was a disappointment. So I mean, if anybody was in that 100K or know who won and what was the, I don't really care who won. I just want to know what was the final score, the outcome. Just let me know. Share that down below in the comment section, and I would greatly appreciate it, because I didn't play in the 100K, so I really don't know what was the 100K winners score. But that's the way it is, man. So I mean. You're probably going to be laughing at me. I laugh at myself as well. This is just really crazy. I can't believe I did that. But nonetheless, I did. I gotta, shake it off, like I mentioned before a number of other times. Just shake it off and just keep moving and get myself prepared for tonight and make sure that I am in an entry for the 100K. I always like to at least play either 1 to 3 lineups or maybe as many as 4. And if I feel really good about the slate, I may play more than 1 lineup or at least enter in more than 1. But in this case, I didn't do that yesterday, and I thought I did. So that's shame on me. But nonetheless, a good night. 414. You can't go wrong with a 414. Obviously, if you have a 414, you had some monster guys. You had some guys that really stepped up. Every day I share with everyone my stud 5. Well, my stud 5 I had in this lineup. I had Ball, I had Rozier, I had Beal, I had Marcus Morris, and I did have Mr. Vukovic here. Okay, and all 5 of them did their part, especially Rozier, Beal, Morris, and Vukovic. Lonzo was pretty much at around the range that he was expected to be in. For his value, he was maybe a positive 6. But Rozier and Beal were there. They were, their positives were way up. Rozier was at least a positive 21 from his value. 53.5. He had about 47 before overtime. Beal had, I think, was at 50, 51 around overtime. So when overtime started, the end of regulations, excuse me. And then you had Marcus Morris was up there too. He was in the 40s, I believe, by the time regulation ended. So, they all had monster nights. Ball, let's see. Let's look at his stat sheet. 3 field goals, 11 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 block. He hit 1 3-pointer. You had Rozier, he had what? 8 field goals, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 4 3-pointers. He just went off. He did what he needed to do with no Irving, no Smart, no Jalen, no Brown. This guy had to step up. It was between him, Marcus, and Jason Tatum. They had to step up, and that's exactly what they did. We move on here. We got Bradley Beal. Crazy night. He had 14 field goals. He had 9 assists, 7 rebounds. What do you got here? 1 block, 2 steals. He had hit 3 threes. Not bad for Bradley Beal. I was surprised he was at 35% owned. I thought he was going to be either a little bit higher than that, but nonetheless, that benefits me, obviously, and anybody else that played him, as well as the winner here. He had pretty much the same guys. He had Rozier, he had Bradley Beal, he had Giannis here. Giannis had a good game. He had James Johnson. He did have Tatum, Avaleo, 29, and then Vukovic, 54. But my stud 5 all came through, and again we go down to Marcus Morris. He had 11 field goals, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 4 3-pointers. The guy went off. He was playing against his brother's team. Both teams are very competitive, and the brothers are competitive. All those juices come together, and you want to go out there and play a hard game, and then know that you got a bunch of guys on your bench that are all hurt. And you know that everybody's counting on you to come up and step up and be a facilitator, pass the ball, and he did it all. Marcus Morris, 11 field goals, 9 rebounds, 1 assist. What else he had? 2 steals, 4 3-pointers. He did the dirty work. He had a rebound, and he did that. Mr. Vukovic, big game for Orlando. Orlando winning that game at home against Milwaukee. That was a surprise. I didn't think that Orlando would win the game. I needed the game more than likely to be competitive. But Orlando's one of those teams where, one day they look like crap, man. They look like Washington. It's like, you just don't know what you're going to get. Orlando usually plays a lot better at home. They must have gotten up for this game, or maybe, but I didn't take a look at the game. But 126-117, that's a great win for them. And Vuk, he did his part. He had the 8 field goals, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. The big man dished 9 assists, 4 steals for a big man, And he also hit 1 3-pointer. Man, this guy's looking, comparable to Mr. Jokic. If you're gonna start throwing threes up there as well. So a great night for Vukovic, a great night for the Orlando Magic. Again, a great night for me in DFS Zone. Unfortunately, these numbers will not translate into thousands of dollars. And it would be disappointing to know if somebody does share with me what was that final tally. I will definitely would be upset if this 414 would have made the top 4 or 5 in that 100K last night. But again, I ain't gonna make that mistake twice. This is the first time I've ever done something like that, so it's very surprising. But it is what it is. So we hope for the best tonight. Stud 5 wise, I'm going to be working on the Stud 5 right now. As soon as I get done with this video and share this with you guys, I will be back again and probably within an hour with the Stud 5. I do have an idea of who I might have in play for today, but I definitely got to do a little research on that first and then come back with my final thoughts on Stud 5 for today, March the 15th. We have a pretty big slate. I think there's a 9-game slate today. So, again, when I discussed about the slates yesterday, I will repeat myself on that just for those new DFS players out there. 9-game slates are good slates for you to make multiple lineups. If you're able to, funding wise, if you have enough funds and you want to put some money out there, you definitely should make more than one lineup. Don't just build one lineup and then expect it that way. Now, don't get me wrong, you can build a solid lineup and it can net you a top 10 finish in a major GPP, but my recommendation is if you have a little bit of money and you're able to buy in that $7 or $9, whatever it is for tonight, if you can do 2 to 3 lineups and they could be slightly different in every one of them, in every aspect, you totally use 9 different players in 3 different lineups. You may be able to net. There's enough room there as far as value for you to be able to spread yourself through three lineups, as opposed to when you have a slate like last night where there was only 4 games. That's a little different. That there you want to do 2 or 3 teams or 4 teams or whatever you want. You can do 8 teams if you want, but you want to be able to have a core 7, maybe a core 6. I would even say some lineups could be a core 8, and you can just build 3-4 lineups with the same 7-8 players, and then just mix and match their 1 or 2 players in 1 or 2 different positions, and you may be able to land like I did last night, where you might be able to have 4 or 5 teams and all 5 teams cash. So because they were similar kind of similar lineups, there was only maybe a difference of 2 or 3 players. So again, that's what you have to do. But that's just my opinion on it. But I think that's the best strategy to use when you have a larger slate. When you have a smaller slate, get a core 7, a core 8, mix match 1 or 2 players. When you have a large slate, 7, 8 games, 9 games like tonight or better, you definitely can go with multiple lineups, and you can do 3 or 4 entirely different 9-player lineups, and you may have success with 2 lineups being totally different. Being in the top 100 or whatever, to even the top 10. I've seen it happen. So I know, and I've had that happen even for me. So I know for a fact that that's very much possible. And that's, again, you can take it, anywhere you want it. It's just my opinion on it, but I think it's a great tip to always remember when you're relatively new, because a lot of people, when I first started way back, even when I just played for fantasy, just for the heck of it against family and friends, on Yahoo Sports, it was just all for fun, and I did that for 16 years, 17 years, until 3 years ago, I decided to dive into this Fanduel thing, and I've loved it ever since. So, it's a totally different ballgame. But at first, that's what I was doing. I was just going with the players I like. I was going with, my gut. Not so much with analytics, statistics. Defensive. Defense versus positions, and so on and so forth. I was not even looking at any of that stuff. I was just basically just saying, hey, you know what? This is a good offensive team. This is a good defensive team, and just realize who was playing against who, but not really doing too much matchups, comparisons as far as players are concerned, or as far as guys off the bench, and so on and so forth. So, I have learned that this is the right way to go. These are the things you need to do. You use a couple of different statistical softwares, and you get information. You can use NBA.com to get information, and of course there's other websites and other areas you can go to get the statistics and the information you need to make proper decisions nowadays. So, and that's the way I go. So a little research comes a long way to have a little success. Of course, you also have to be mindful of the game, and if you understand the game and you really are a fan of the game, like I am, you're going to definitely understand some of the player matchups a lot more easier. You're going to know which teams are core defensively in certain positions and who aren't. And that makes it a little bit more easier to make those decisions when it comes time to building a lineup for the night. So just, a little bit of information there, as far as ideas, so make sure you try to utilize all that. But I'll be back with the Stuff 5 in a little bit, guys, and good luck tonight, everyone. Bye.